Good evening. Welcome to the City of Opa-locka Special Commission Meeting. Tonight is April 5th, 2022, 5:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass. Here. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Dominguez. Here. Mayor Williams.
Here. Commissioner Bass, invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, Lord. Guide us, lead us, and protect us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
At this time, we will begin our public input. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the rules for participation into record for public input.
Yes, good evening. City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at Sherbandi Village Auditorium, 215 Purvis Avenue, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the city commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/City of Opa-locka. And Madam Mayor, at this time, we do not have any virtual public comments.
Okay. At this time, public comments, public input is open.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Leon Grant. I'm gonna give my 3 minutes to share. I'm on 2350 140th Street.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner, everybody in their respective places. Good evening. First of all, I want to say somebody left a key in the ladies' room, restroom. It looks like a car key. Okay, I just want to speak on behalf. First of all, I'd like to say, ladies, commissioners, Saturday was good considering. We know what the considering part is, but it's always good to network and fellowship and commune, but we gotta stay together. I'm coming to speak on behalf of Mr. Wright here, and sorry too. Also, let me set the record straight on something. Cheryl Kaysen, retired chief of the city of Opa-locka. Let me first say, most of you know me, and I speak very well for myself. And I have no problems about what I plan to do, what I want to do, about anything in my life and this city. I was told that I attended a meeting, and some of the residents, I'm not going to call, but we talked about it on Saturday because I found out Friday night and I found out a little more in detail Saturday. First of all, I didn't meet with anybody about a recall. What I did was wanted information. I went to the clerk's office about recall information for my edification for if I need to use it. If I want to use it or need to use it or talk to the residents, because I've said before, I would get on my golf cart and go to door, do what I have to do, and I still will. Number two, I'm grown. I turned 65 years old, March 18th. So I can go meet with somebody, talk with somebody, and most of us have spoken with each other and deal with each other for many, many years. But when we go to discuss you, for the most part, we do it at the polls. What I said, I will regurgitate. What I said was, the same community voices that came together to put you in here will be the same community voices that come together to put you out if need be. We're tired of these changes. I have no idea why this meeting is called today, but I can tell you that it's talked about all throughout. I've been listening. I told you I've been watching. I've opened myself up. I'm still an open book. If there's anything I need to do or say, or any questions about anything I want to do or say, please feel free to ask me. You didn't get here by yourself. Let me say one thing. Pastor Power of New Shiloh Baptist Church, Dr. D.L. Power says in church on Sundays, he says, everybody used to be or still is. Thank God he allows U-turns, because all of us at some point hit a dead end street and we were able to turn around. I hear that we're talking about possibly bringing Mr. Pate back. I pray that's not an issue, but I know about all the political ploys that come up. And sometimes when we talk, we bring attention to ourselves and we tell what we're doing indirectly. And today is going to tell a story. Today is going to tell where the real meetings are being held. Mr. Wright hasn't been here 90 days. And from my understanding from most of the community and things that I've seen, we're moving in a progressive manner. And talking to other people that I talk to, the law enforcement community and others. A lot of people have their eyes on us, you guys. Mr. Pate, and I'm gonna say this because I can, has a lot of investigations going on, and they're not good investigations, including impersonating a police officer. And I'm not going to get too much in there, but I've told you before about the investigations that he denied and they came to fruition. Well, there's a lot more and there's others. Another thing I want to say to you all, we're here for you. I mean, we're we. Let's do better. Let's continue to give the man a chance. Mr. Wright, I pray that you continue to get this chance, because you have a lot of people behind you, and we're behind you as well. We want the right thing. I pray the commission come together, because Saturday was good in itself, but we know the inconsideration. However, y'all put them chips where it lay and lay it out so everybody will know. One other thing, the sign over at Chin Medical Building, it says, welcome Miami Gardens patients. Well, we all know this is not Miami Gardens, this is Opa-locka. I happened to go to the Miami Gardens facility. And what happened, our facility on Park Center Road is closed for up until about December. I don't know if you all know. So they're moving temporarily to this office. So I was under the impression that they thought this was Miami Gardens. That's how I tend up and I pay attention, and I love this city. So what I found out when I called over there was that they're welcoming the Miami Gardens patients here, because I got kind of upset about that, because we are who we are and we need to represent who we are. Let's do the right thing. Don't keep telling your business, because just like Madam Mayor, you said once before about the meetings that are being held behind, they are, and we know it, and you'll be surprised who else knows it. Pay attention, people are watching. Be careful who you're talking to. Okay, let's do what's right. Okay.
Thank you. Public input is open.
Good afternoon. Gail Miller, former Commissioner Gail Miller, this city of Opa-locka. 14235 Northwest 22nd Place. We acting like we in kindergarten. We gonna bring the man back if he dropped a lawsuit? What kind of commissioners y'all is up here now? First of all, 2 of y'all up here don't even live in this city, but I ain't gonna even go that way, because you know who I'm talking to. Saturday, y'all left out your other commissioner. Y'all say women in power. How you gonna leave out Audrey and only y'all two? Y'all didn't even recognize the lady at the commission, at the meeting Saturday. But that's all good and fine. But you sat up there and you talked about God did this and God did that, but now tonight you acting like the devil. And Mr. Wright, I pray that they keep you here and don't bring this man back. Now, they already don't fight the man because they say the man never came to work. He was off more than he was at work. That's how much they talk. And like the lady just said, you be careful who you talk to because you don't know who you're talking to. And you're talking your business. And you're violating the sunshine law. You don't know. Y'all need to, Joanna, get the book for them they need to read. Because every one of y'all gonna go to jail for violating the sunshine law. Y'all have a nice night.
Devil is a liar. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Good evening, Natasha Irvin, 670 Dunat Avenue. I too have no idea how we wound up here today. And I sent a text message to one of the commissioners to find out how we got here. And I felt like he had his panties in a bunch. But now I see why your panties was in a bunch. So I thought, or I feel, for what I see, because I go by City Hall every day just to see if Mr. Wright car is in the parking spot designated for him. And I be the one late going to work, but he's there every day. I haven't heard one employee complain about him that's a regular employee. Yeah, the employees that was in the pay click, yeah, they complain because they got to come to work. They got to do what the city is paying them for. So I can understand that. I can understand that. But I too pray. And I tossed and turned with what I was going to actually say today. And I'm going to say, I decided to tell you all a story about Miss Hicks, my daughter, 6th grade teacher at Opa-locka Elementary. The beginning of school until the end of the first semester, which we know is 18 weeks, my daughter and her 6th grade teacher were like oil and water. They couldn't find that center, but I told them they had to work it out because they wasn't going to drive me crazy with it. And to my surprise, they found their happy medium to the point that Ms. Hicks also invited my daughter to be a gem and gent that year. Not only did that happen, she also had my daughter to dance at her retirement party because she said that that was enough for her. So what I'm saying is it takes a while to get to learn each other or learn people. I don't think we've given ourselves enough time to learn Mr. Wright and see where he's coming from and that kind of thing. So I would ask that we give him the chance to prove himself to us. Mr. Wright, I hope to call you tomorrow and say, congratulations, do what you need to do. Same thing here. Thank you all.
Christina Banks, former employee of the city of Opa-locka. When I started here in this city, I worked in the city manager's office and I worked up under 7 different city managers. and umpteen commissioners. I come to you as a taxpayer here in this city to come in and to see us right back where we started from. Just doesn't make sense, y'all. You brought this man in. How do you know what he can do unless you give him an opportunity to do it? It's the same way you do the employees. At some point, it has to stop. And you all represent this community. And don't think people aren't watching you now, okay? You think when you get ready to run and run again, that they're not going to remember these things? You're going to have to connive in order to get where you want to get again, okay? So you all need to do the right thing because you're talking about our tax-paying dollars here. Taxes are sky high, and we have nothing in the city of Opa-locka to show for it. That's what you're here for, to legislate and bring these things in so we have a community that is conducive to our further generations that are coming. You're going to be held accountable for this. So don't think that you're up there and you were given an opportunity to be on that dais to do the right thing. And it doesn't take much to reach a medium in order to do it. I won't go into some of the things I wanted to bring up because it's not necessary. You all know it already. Every single one of you on that dais know it. Do the right thing. You have one that wants to come in. I sat in the back and I never come up here. I never come up here to approach you all because I respect you all. I give each and every one of you in your prospective places that respect. Give the people in this community respect too. Not all of us are crazy, okay? Some of us have a good sense and some of us are paying close attention to what you're doing. So make sure you do the right thing because you're going to be held accountable. You may not be held accountable here or here, but if there is something greater than this, you're going to be held accountable. You're going to stand before him and you're going to come in and tell him about why you made these bad decisions. So what do? Slap us in the face that are residents here, that are trying to make it every day, that are paying sky-high taxes and everything else? Come on, y'all. Come on. All I'm asking is that you do the right thing. Come together. Come together to do the right thing, okay? It doesn't take much. Do the right thing tonight. Rethink what you want to do simply because of what you feel, unless you got something to hide. If you don't have anything to hide, then you're going to do the right thing. Stop trying to whitewash each other, okay? Don't do it. Think about all these people in this community that are taxpayers here, okay? Because some of us got out and voted for all of you on this dais to make it happen. And if I recall right, that was what was said, change. You're doing the same crap the old ones did. And I heard this saying about you don't want no old ones doing nothing up here. But it appears you need that wisdom. You need some wisdom from some old people because you're doing the crazy stuff. And you're all educated. Every one of you are educated people. So do the right thing. Make the right decisions. There are things going undercover that the public out here is getting. We know everything that you all do, it gets back to the public. And then the whole community talks about it. And then you come in here and you walk in this dais and you're supposed to represent us. Do the right thing. Thank you.
Chris Roberts, 640 Dunad Avenue. I have concerns. We're in a meeting to fire the interim city manager. We have a police department that's under fire because everybody's quitting because they're not getting salaries. We have a city clerk that's there that haven't got a raise, haven't got a time, haven't got anything, but we're sitting here fighting over the old city manager to come here. The problem and issues that I have with everybody, anybody knows me, I come directly to everybody. I don't throw rocks, I don't throw my play games with people. That's not who I am as an individual. But y'all fighting for Pate to come here, but what about the other 20 people that Pate fired here and they fired and they fighting for their jobs back and nobody ain't saying nothing about that? And they have won their lawsuit and they still haven't came back. This buddy system here stinks. You can smell it today, tomorrow, the next day, it stinks here. As an individual, we talking about respect. Respect is due to a dog. You have the officers standing around, everybody looking around and, hey, we don't even have a PBA contract because y'all keep changing city managers. The basic salary for an officer is $37,000. You might as well go work at Burger King. But we fighting for a new car for the old city manager. We fighting for him to get transported back here from Chicago. He wants more salary. Come on, y'all. When do it stop? When do it stop? And everything that I say to, I'm saying here, I say to everybody that I talk to, I don't have favorites. That's not who I am. I don't do favors and I don't have favors. Because no, I don't look for none. When you look for favors, you have problems. The only reason y'all commissioner wants paid back because of the deals that has been made. The writing is on the wall. You can look at everything. The writing is on the wall with the commissioner. This ain't personal for me, this business. And it's a sad day in Opa-locka, we're going through the same cycle we've been going through for the last 20 years, 20 plus years. Everybody comes here and say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. When do we stop? You know, I don't take sides to people. I really don't care about that. But I do know, and everybody in here knows that this is personal. And if y'all commissioner is fighting for him or whatever, he's not fighting for the employees that was here that done lost houses. The people can't make their rent, they can't make their mortgage, they can't take care of their children, they done lost everything. But coincidentally, oh, my frat brother, he need his job back.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. I was gonna say Vice Mayor and the commission and staff. My AKA is Dottie Johnson. I reside at 13724 Northwest 22nd Place. I have never been disrespectful to no one here. Neither will I ever be disrespectful to anyone here. But I am an influencer in the community. And I'm thankful because I'm honest. I'm very honest. I think only one of you all had a chance to be there and come over here. But when you come over here, you see it differently. It's altogether different. We know from the boots on the ground that we have in the community, at least I know of one that moved back. But we got pictures when you moved out. So I'm always saying with my grandmother, because she was a very good influence in my life. Be careful the rock that you throw. I was the first tenant in Aswan Village, which is now Mary Brown Apartments. And I can say from 1975 to current, honestly, and if I had my hand to put on the Bible, I will attest. This is one of the best time I've seen the city condition in this city. Now I heard someone say the morale is bad, and I went to pay for my public record request because now, you know, we charge, no problem. I'm financially stable to pay for it. And you should have seen the employees come in thanking for just speaking out on their contract, which has been trying to get done since who? But he got it done. I think if you allow the manager to be the CEO according to the charter, we will have a better outcome. I strongly suggest to you not to be concerned about a lawsuit. I filed the lawsuit. I filed 3. I won all 3. I wish they would have let me represent myself. It's just because of the knowledge, skills, and ability I've had. But I also learned that when I was pregnant with my baby, 8 weeks, I was able to know that I was pregnant, but it took 9 months for me to bring that big baby here. And whatever you want done, it's going to take time. The city was really in a mess. I supported the previous. I met with him to share ideas as much as I could. I have not met with Mr. Wright. You know why? I think the experience and the ability and his knowledge through your guidance can get the job done. But I know I've heard of some favors that's going on, and I don't like it. I won't put it on record because, you know, I am your brother's keeper. I am your sister keeper. And all I'm saying, before you cast that rock, be careful, because the rock is coming right back at you. And when it comes, it's gonna be, I ain't talking to no individual, so you ain't got to nod your head at me, because I ain't scared. I'm from 18th Avenue. And ain't no scary blood in me. And I was a headhunter. And God forgave me.
Gary Johnson, 13235 Alexander Drive. Them kind of tough acts to follow right there, but I'm gonna do the best I can. All right, I have quite a few questions. I don't know if you guys can address them or what. My first question would be, what does it look like for Sesame Street? How long that street is gonna be closed? Okay, then my second question would be, okay, I know Opa-locka had a committee before. You wanna speak? Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. So this is a special commission meeting.
Uh-huh.
So the public input, you can only talk about what's on the agenda, the
Okay.
items. So, yeah, if
So
you
the
want to
city
talk about
manager is
that.
on the agenda.
Yeah, but
Okay.
saying it's about what's on the agenda. So you can come back next week if you have specific questions about.
I can,
The
get
other
it.
questions.
I can
Okay.
deal with what's on the day. Okay, well, I also came to thank the city manager. We had situation in Opa-locka. I think I mentioned at the last meeting. The management left and one of the buildings didn't have no lights. So they sent out letters to the resident and said, okay, you're gonna have to wait the whole entire day in order to get your lights the next day. That's inappropriate. You can't do that. So we kept calling around. We finally got city manager, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright was able to make some phone calls and got them lights in them buildings back on. We truly thank him for that. Also, I heard something about the police department. I also like to give them thanks. We finally seen eye to eye in Glory of the Gods. You can come on 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can see their presence. You see, my son had a little altercation with them because they flashed the light in his car. He flashed the light back out his car at them, which I told him that was inappropriate. But we can see that they are making a difference. So them two, the city manager and the police department, we would like to thank. At least we got some thanks to the great city of Opa-locka tonight. So y'all have a nice day.
How you doing? DeMarcus Haynes, 311 Avenue. I feel like you should give Mr. Wright his rightful chance. Me and my grandmother had a conversation about this earlier, but I'm gonna let her speak on our point.
It's my oldest grandson, y'all. It's DeMarcus Haynes. He graduated from USC. And he lives in the city. And it's quite a few of them. I won't tell all our secrets right now. And he's looking at you all because he's interested in doing some of this stuff as well. You can look him up. He was at Flowmore a couple of weeks ago and opened up with, what a man name? Rick Ross. I don't know them people. Rick Ross and them Gucci people. You know them people that do them rappings and things like that. I'm Marvin Gaye and Teddy Pendergrass. That's me. But anyway, my grandson talked about what was on the agenda, and I told him he could come up and speak up for Mr. Wright. He recalls Mr. Wright. He came to the police department when I worked there under Mr. Wright's direction, and we just want to continue to say, y'all, let's do what's right. And Madam Mayor, you said a couple of times with Mr. Pate, Let's give him a chance, right? Because he didn't have the chance, and I know y'all, I know you are. I know y'all gonna do what's right and what we gotta do, each and every one of you. We gotta get it together. We got the young people looking at us, okay? They're watching you, they're mimicking you, and my grandson called me and asked, what is this? The man just got here. Grandma, we were just there the other week, right? And people are talking, right? People are talking in the community about things that they're seeing, and we talking about programs and things of that nature in the police department. I ain't even got to touch the police department because I know he gonna deal with that. He was the former chief. So I know you're gonna deal with that, and it encompasses a lot. And like they say, everything wasn't built in a day, and let's do the right thing. Because remember what I said, when we go right, we can't go wrong. Be careful who you go with, because you might, what that commercial say? You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Come on.
Right. Public input is closed. Madam Attorney,
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Resolution 6A.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, terminating interim city manager James B. Wright, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second,
second by Commissioner Davis for discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Davis.
thank you. So the reason why I chose to bring this legislation forward is due to the recent challenges this commission has faced with the current city manager around issues of transparency, responsiveness, and accountability in our local government. As public officials, we are duly elected by the citizens of this community. And when we took the oath of office, of public office, we agreed to uphold the charter, carrying out its duties and responsibilities. In addition to the charter oath that we all took when we were elected or appointed, we also made a promise to our residents that we will uphold a culture of accountability and transparency while holding this government accountable for its actions. The recent decisions carried out by the current city manager has made it extremely difficult to achieve our goals, as he has made it harder at times for this commission to exercise its rights and responsibilities through the powers that have been entrusted to us as a board. Limiting power in a system of checks and balances isn't good for anyone. And I'm extremely concerned about the current limiting of the commission's chartered powers of promoting and passing legislation. For the last 3 commission meetings, we have had minimal amounts to no legislation, i.e. resolutions and ordinance being presented, which seriously affects our ability as elected officials to be responsive and accountable to the needs of our residents and staff. In addition to little to no legislation being pushed, the deliberate unresponsiveness and not following up on directives given at commission meetings and private meetings is concerning. The commission gave several directives, including holding an opera funding, capital projects, infrastructure, and debt workshop to discuss the $7 million allocation from the federal government and to come up with a spending plan to address our infrastructure needs as soon as possible. A hard date for this workshop has not been set and proffered to the commission, as we were originally given the timeline of March, and now, according to an email sent to through the manager's office, the deadline is slated for December 31st, 2024. I want to make it clear, I don't agree with the overspending that has been taking place. The administrative decision to exceed the budget on various line items for events and new programs, in my opinion, is a misuse of the 25,000 threshold provided by the charter to the manager. The last budget amendment had numerous changes between first and second reading, and it was the manager's decision to not have this item presented in a public meeting to our board and citizens. In addition to limiting the commission's powers, there are also many questions that pertain to the day-to-day, hiring, firing, and personnel decisions, which is an administrative responsibility that falls under the manager's purview. However, members of the commission, as members of the commission, we have the ability to ask questions and inquire about these sort of day-to-day actions that have not taken place. A member of the commission even sought to sponsor legislation to reestablish our city's civil service board in an effort to offer proper due process in personnel matters involving staff. The manager says he is comprehensively evaluating city departments before administrative decisions are made relative to firing and personnel changes, but also states that there hasn't been enough time to evaluate the building department to determine if it should be outsourced, given the challenges we faced. The state attorney's office prosecuted a former staff member for grand theft in the amount of over $300,000. It appears as if we have time to evaluate employees, and not only not our departments, especially the ones that have the city and consent decrees and sanctions by Durham, which handicaps our ability to develop and grow as a community. I'm extremely concerned with these challenges, specifically not answering formal inquiries made by the commission in a timely manner regarding arbitrary management decisions being made in our government, providing feedback on procured items in a timely fashion. Procurement processes aren't clear and transparent under this new administration. Future agenda items have been passed by motions of the commission unanimously, and it's not being presented as legislation at our regular scheduled commission meetings. In order for us as a board to effectively and efficiently govern the city from a policy perspective, we must protect and preserve the policymaking powers that are granted to us as duly elected officials of this community by our city's charter. The current leadership that's in place has not promoted this idea, which in my opinion is a threat to the democratic process and the checks and balances that have been created to ensure that power is not abused in our system of government. Our residents are depending on us to do better and to do the right thing. And I will ensure, as long as it's within my power to do so, that the residents will get what they truly deserve: a responsive, transparent government that's accountable to its people.
Anyone else? As the mayor of the great city of Opa-locka, or I should say Opa-locka, I made a commitment to uphold its charter and to always make decisions that are in the best interest of its residents. And yes, I am and have always been one. Sometimes those decisions are hard, misunderstood, and may not be popular. However, it is my responsibility to make them. Making tough decisions is what real leaders do. Our city manager must not only uphold our charter, but is our senior level executive. As such, he must adhere to the morals and ethics and principles that we as a commission and we as residents of this city expect. Here, our current manager has failed. In just 2 months under this city manager, We have seen a record number of resignations and terminations of senior level and key staff. This is a whole new low in the history of the city and is a crushing weight on the morale and productivity of the staff remaining. If one manager could wreak and wreak such havoc in 2 months, I shudder to think what could happen if left to remain for 2 more. As the mayor and the member of this commission, our charter authorizes us to make inquiries of the city manager regarding issues that impact our city. Concerned about the inability of the residents and businesses to navigate our departments lacking leadership, I reached out to the city manager. During that meeting, I was appalled. As a leader, I could not believe what was stated to me. I was told by the city manager, and I quote, according to our charter, I don't have to tell you anything. In this same meeting, he repeated to me, let's just say what this is. I'm not your pick. I'm not your manager. Shocked, I could not believe that our city manager was speaking to me in this tone that was unprofessional, disrespectful, and rude. Although I found the city manager's response rude and unprofessional, the more important issue is that he was wrong under the law. For a city manager to disrespect a commissioner, at that level, I was astonished. I clearly ended the meeting because I can tell he was very upset. I said to him, we're done. He stood up and said, do you want your door open or closed? For a city manager to so clearly mistake and violate the basics of our charter is not a scenario that this commissioner should tolerate. I know my male counterparts that stood and sat in this seat would have never been spoken to in that manner. Finally, the halt of movement with our capital improvement projects and community development is insufferable. Leaders in these areas have been terminated or pushed out with no clear plan, which is what I asked for, of how to move this city forward. The result is a standstill that we see now. The city of Opa-locka has received millions of dollars in funding to move projects forward. These projects will bring jobs, health and wellness services, and a better quality of life to our residents, for our city and for our residents. This commission must demand a city manager who is willing to move timely on important projects. Yes, this is a tough decision that I wrestled with, but I never in my professional career as a leader has anyone spoken to me in that manner. True leaders do not shy away from tough decisions. For the reasons I have shared and for the betterment of our city and residents, this is a decision that I must make. So that is why I shall vote to terminate our city manager under the willful disregard of a direct order, demand, and policy of commission conduct becoming of a city manager. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Vice Mayor Taylor?
though I don't believe this is the time to make such a move, though I have not always agreed with the moves that was made by the current city manager. But we're blaming him for stuff that was not done on his watch. The money that we received from ARPA was received last year. The capital improvement projects was started last year under another manager. So now he's only been here 2 months and we're blaming him for something that was not done on his watch. Though, like I said, didn't always agree with all of the changes that were made, but I still will say he's only been here for 2 months. And we talk about transparency and we talk about change and we talk about all of this stuff, but we're not willing to actually do that because we're going right back to where we just left from. And everything that we said up here, all of the things that we said up here could have been said last year when we had issues, but nobody said a word. But now all of a sudden, 2 months in, we gonna straighten the manager out after 2 months. Like I said, I did not always agree with the things that he's done, but it's only been 2 months. So I'm like you, I would like to see a plan. I would like to see why we moving the way we're moving, but I'm not going to give up on a person just after 2 months because we talk about holding, everybody talk about accountability, but who gonna hold us accountable? Because we do a lot of things that other people don't agree with either. So let's, and it's not all I'm gonna say is 2 months. He's only been here for 2 months. Pate did disrespect you, Madam Mayor, don't do that. Yes, he did. That meeting was in private. Pate disrespected you in public. So let's call, and Pate disrespected the last mayor in public and you never said a word.
Were you
come
there?
on.
Were you there?
But you're calling, I never say he didn't do
No,
it. I'm just going by what you just said. You said Pate never did it.
I said like that. Get that
I'm
straight.
done, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
I'm done.
Exactly.
I didn't bring up Pate. She brought up Pate.
Anyone
I never
else?
brought up Pate.
Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
as I continue to be true to myself, was, is, and always will be. When the city manager came in a couple months ago, I did not support him then, and I'm not gonna support him now. For one reason, I am true to myself and true to my belief. And to those of you who think that my political career is in your control, you are sadly mistaken. Because my political life, career is in the hands of the Almighty God. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Madam Mayor, I'd
Commissioner-
like to say something, please.
I've
Thank
been
you.
waiting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jesus. I've known the city manager for 2 months. I didn't know who I was voting for at the night that I voted for him. However, I took that chance with him. And I don't have a just cause for termination for him right now. I don't see why. If I get a call from a resident on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, guess who I'm calling? I call him. And he replies and he answers my call. And immediately I get a response, either via text or email. So I'm not understanding why are we here? I really don't know why are we here. We already know about the previous city manager. So we take 2 steps forwards and 4 backwards. I don't get it. I'm lost for words. We need to do what is best for the residents in the city, not for what we want, not for us. This is not about us. Because come next year, we might not be here. None of us might not be here. So I don't see why we're doing this.
I truly do not see why we're doing this. But the writing is in the wall. I already see what's going on.
Decorum, please. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez, Vice Mayor Taylor,
No.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 3-2.
Item 6B.
A resolution,
Okay, sorry.
a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, appointing John E. Pate as the interim city manager, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Commissioner Davis.
Madam Mayor,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
may I have,
Decorum, please, decorum. Mr. Commissioner Davis.
Madam Mayor, I guess to read the resolution, the resolution is basically to appoint Mr. Pate as the interim city manager. As you know, I've had conversations with Mr. Pate. I mean, I don't know if you guys, I just put his name as a transplant because of course he's, was always my choice for city manager, but obviously I sponsored the legislation. So I don't know if anyone else has any other potential appointees, but those opportunities are also welcome. I just wanted to state that for the record.
Okay, I believe. Any other discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
I would like to proffer the name of.
Hold on, we can't, we have to vote first and then we can go back. Yeah. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just want to say, for the record, I have been one of Mr. Pate's biggest supporters. I think two of the commissioners sitting up here, myself and Commissioner Bass actually participated in the national search to bring Mr. Pate from Chicago. And one of the reasons why we chose Mr. Pate is because he actually wasn't tied to anyone in the city. And he wasn't a pushover either. So he wouldn't fall victim to the many pressures that exist here in the South Florida community and in our city. As you know, Mr. Pate has always been my first choice. Obviously, we had challenges throughout the years, with his management and ultimately the commission priorities and how we kind of communicated that. But Mr. Pate is my first choice, which is why he's included in the legislation. And I just wanted to say that before we do roll call and further discussion.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Madam Mayor, I need a motion in a
Oh, so
second.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Can I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Davis,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Dominguez,
No.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
No.
Commissioner Bass,
No.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
No.
motion fails.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to, since the motion failed, to put a motion on the floor to make an appointment. Newell Daughtry as city manager.
Okay, let the record show that Commissioner Davis proffered the name of Noah Daughtry. I would like to proffer the name of Darvin Williams. Any other names? Okay. Can I have a, well, so, is, Madam Attorney, are you there?
I'm right here, Madam Mayor.
Oh.
Yes. I've been sitting here since the last discussion. At this time, it looks as though there's no second for either one of those names that have been proffered. One of the things that you can do under your charter, you can appoint a person who is a staff person as the acting, it actually calls for that in your charter as the acting city manager. And that is something that the commission could do from a current staff person if it chose to.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I'm a
Yes.
little bit lost.
Yeah, I am.
So, Madam Mayor, if I may, so two names were proffered. Obviously, I proffered Mr. Daughtry's name and, you know, I didn't have a second. So it died, and and Madam Mayor also proffered a name. So in order for any of those nominations to go forth, whether it's Mr. Daughtry or Mr. Williams, a motion would need to
What,
take place followed by a second in order for it to move forward.
Madam Attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
that's what I was trying to hear. I didn't hear. So
Yes,
what-
ma'am. Commissioner Davis is absolutely right.
Okay,
It would neither of the names that were proffered receive a second, and therefore those motions fail. And what I thought you were asking me for when you said, Madam Attorney, I
Okay,
thought you were
right.
asking for, you know, what can you do next? And you could, if you wanted to, appoint someone as an acting city manager who is a current staff person. That is provided for in your charter. So if you
Okay,
chose to
so-
do that, you could.
okay, so that's the direction I was looking for. You said the motions fail, but we were putting names and
There was no second
need-
for either one of the names.
I didn't call for a second yet.
Normally, you
So
don't
the-
have to, under Robert's rules, it's just automatic. Somebody can just say second, and that would be proper. So when there was, I think a space, there was a thought, at least by me and Commissioner Davis,
No.
that there wasn't a second
So
for the
I-
motion. You could get, if you get a second, either one of those names that were proffered could survive. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor, I would like to
Yes.
give a second to Darvin Williams.
Okay, Commissioner Bass, second, Darvin Williams.
I think, wasn't Commissioner Bass, did you proffer Williams?
No, I did.
Okay, that's appropriate. It's on the floor now.
Okay, thank you. Right. We have a motion first and second for Darvin Williams. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
No discussion on the item after it was moved in second.
Okay, sure, discussion.
I'm obviously, I haven't had a chance to speak with anyone, you know, except from Mr. Daughtry, prior to this appointment. Has anyone, obviously, we can't communicate, but has anyone had a conversation with Mr. Williams? Is he open and accepting of the position?
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
Before we vote on the item? Yeah.
is okay?
Mhm.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. We are adjourned.